Let's spend our money on what matters.
G'day guys, Clayton here from Workbench Hobbies here to show you the announcements that caught my eye in the hope that I can share something you may have missed. First though, thank you to the team from the World Miniature Hobby Show and Malcolm 26. That's the big show I've just been to in Penang. Thank you to them for looking after me during my recent stay there. It was a great show and I can highly recommend it. I had a heck of a lot of fun editing the show review. So if you haven't seen it, please check it out. My wife still hasn't forgiven me for it. I also want to share with you some of my Patreon's work through this video. There is some amazing work there, so if there is something there that you like, please be sure to give them a shout out in the comments. But before I start, a notable mention here to this reboxing of the Takom Porsche turreted King Tiger. That wasn't really a Porsche turret at all, but more on that for another time. The Tank Museum over in Bovington, England is restoring the only Porsche turreted King Tiger, of which I was lucky enough to get a look around last year, and they have paired here with Takom to raise funds for this project. Yes, it's a 10-year-old kit, but it's being updated with an ID plate, a bit of a gimmick, but a win-win for all if you were wanting to play a very small part in the restoration of this truly unique tank. But with that, let's get started with my top 10 for the month.
Here we go.
Yeah, I know, now hear me out here. I know Hella hasn't had the best rap in the modelling world for quite some time, if at all. But I've had it on pretty good authority that they are committed to improving and establishing themselves as a viable option to the scale modeler. This is the HIMARS in 72nd scale. Now there are definitely other options for this subject in that scale. However, this is showing 77 parts to the kit, so I'm thinking it should be reasonably detailed. I've included this more out of curiosity than a recommendation as such, so let's wait and see what Hella deliver. Now, I've made no secret of the fact I am a raving fan of the figures that Dynamo Models are producing, and I can confidently say they are easily the benchmark when it comes to 3D printed figures. And it's for that reason I'm so excited to see that they now have released a line of diorama bases to help the model create dynamic dioramas and displays. Much like the RT diorama stuff, the kits seem to be using a mixed media kind of elements and 3D printed parts. Now, yes, you could carve these out of foam and pour plaster and create your own base, but these kits offer convenience and a starting point for modelers not knowing where to start. It's kind of got that Verlinden feel to me, and I'm certainly here for it. I've been wanting to make a vignette featuring a Pantherturm for a long time, which is why I was happy to see these two releases from Atak Models announced last month. During the latter half of World War II, the Germans repurposed surplus Panther tank turrets by fitting them to buried concrete or steel bunkers. These Pantherturm emplacements acted as low-profile, heavily armoured defensive positions that could withstand heavy artillery and restrict advancing Allied armour along that Gothic line and in the defence of Berlin. These kits are small and simple, but offer us something unique and the perfect centrepiece for a late war vignette. The Curtis Hawk 81A2 was the export version of the early P-40 Tomahawk, made famous by the American volunteer group better known as the Flying Tigers. They fought over China and Burma in 1941-42, and it's that iconic shark mouth nose art that's become one of the most recognised symbols of Allied air power during the early months of that Pacific War. Now, June saw Arma Hobby announce its all-new tooling for this aircraft, meaning we can expect future Tomahawk 2 and early P-40 variants in the future, you would think. But I think it's worth keeping an eye on its evolution. I'd love to share with you some of the amazing work my Patreons have been posting over on that page. Patreon is the best way to help me create this content, and keep this channel alive, quite frankly, as well as dial in to the safe and supportive community we have there. It's free to join, and once you are there are 3 tiers that you can choose from, each with its own unique rewards. You can get in touch with me through my DMs there, and we can share ideas, and you can ask me as many questions as you like. If you're looking to improve your own modeling or get a deeper understanding of some of these techniques, I can assure you there is no better way, so please give it some thought. But let's get back to that list. When Meng first announced these King Tigers almost a decade ago, they could be paired with an interior kit if you were that way inclined, but last month saw them announce the boxing of the King Tiger with a full interior included. Plus, they've also added bits and pieces to create a tank displaying with battle damage, as well as a couple of new figures included. It also comes with a 3D printed decal sheet for presenting the Zimmerit on that tank. This looks to be a specific tank from Operation Goodwood, as is on their title, from 1944. And if someone has the photo that replicates what they're trying to show here, please share it below. Operation Goodwood was a major British armoured offensive launched in Normandy in July of 1944. Although it didn't achieve a decisive breakthrough, it tied down German forces and helped pave the way for the Allied breakout of Normandy. I really like the inclusion of the battle damage straight from the box, and I can't really recall any other mainstream manufacturer having done that before. Please let me know in the comments if I'm wrong.
I'm wrong, and I'm never wrong.
I'd initially overlooked these 48 scale MiniArt Airfield tractors, but after looking at them and the possibilities they present, my enthusiasm really grew for it. MiniArt have been producing a line of 35th scale tractors for some time now, but I believe this is their first venture into this subject at that scale. Now, knowing MiniArt, I would suggest that these are going to be highly detailed and perhaps better suited to the experienced modeler. But one thing I can guarantee with the new MiniArt stuff is it can look spectacular once it's built up. These would make for a perfect addition to an early war Battle of Britain airfield diorama, say. And the more I look at these, the more I think I'd like to build one. Classy Hobby is a South Korean model kit manufacturer known for producing highly detailed military vehicle kits. Last month saw Classy Hobby announce the 16th scale British M5 Stuart Recce tank to its line of M5 variants, with the initial release of that line being back in 2019. The M5 Recce was a British field conversion of the American M5A1 Stuart light tank, with the turret removed to create a fast, low-profile reconnaissance vehicle. It's an interesting subject and a size that I would regard as being quite manageable in that 16th scale. I mean, with a name like Classy Hobby, what could possibly go wrong?
Stay classy, planet Earth.
I've been known to dabble in 72nd scale armour, but it is a scale that has been a little neglected in our hobby. Today we see Takom announce their boxing of the T-54B. The T-54B entered service in the late 50s and became one of the most widely produced tanks in history. Rugged and reliable and heavily armed, it served with more than 50 countries and saw combat in conflicts across Europe, Middle East, Asia, Africa, for decades after its introduction. The kit comes with etched parts and Lincoln length tracks. Takom have historically released this style of model in a 1+1 boxing, they call it, meaning you generally get 2 kits, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Now, one of my favourite 72nd scale builds was their Chieftain. This won't be a shake and bake kit, but it will make for a lovely little display model, I can guarantee it. Unfortunately, I might have bought this to you a couple of weeks late, as it was a pre-order announcement, but last month saw Eduard announce the Royal Hybrid P51B Mustang in 32nd scale. Eduard are calling this line their new Royal Hybrid range. It sounds fancy, doesn't it? And this kit is the first in that line. It's a brand new tool that combines a traditional injection molded kit with a heap of high quality 3D printed detailed parts, giving you a premium package straight out of the box without having to go hunting for aftermarket. So you can expect a highly detailed 3D printed cockpit, looks absolutely stunning. 3D printed wheel wells and landing gear, as well as 3D printed exhausts and gun barrels, pre-painted etch and canopy masks, and it'll come with 8 marking options and includes a 100-page reference book covering the history and operational service of the P-51B and C Mustang. This looks to be a seriously impressive kit, and in 30-second scale will allow you to really go to town with the detailing. I was really hoping Takom would expand their line of the SdKfz.250, and this month sees them announce the SdKfz.250-9 to their range. That 250-9 was a German light reconnaissance half-track developed by mounting a 20mm autocannon into a turret onto that compact frame of that vehicle. Introduced in 1943, it gave panzer reconnaissance units greater firepower and cross-country mobility than the wheeled armoured cars did, and it gradually replaced them. It was ideal for scouting ahead of advanced armoured formations. Now this kit comes with a full interior, workable tracks, photo etch details paired with modern engineering, and plenty of detail straight out of that box. Tamiya's kit from 1980 is now hard to find and old, if we're being honest, and the Dragon kit was produced through the 2000s, so this new release from Takom will be the go-to kit for this versatile little half-track. I know I've been including these half-track variants in the top 10 lists pretty much every time they announce one, and I make no apologies for that. The base kit is absolutely stunning with incredible engineering at an affordable price. Now, some of that fine detail, it may test some modelers, so be patient and move through the assemblies slowly. So there you have it. Is there anything here that might find its way into your stash? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Or maybe there was something I'd missed. I'd love to know, so please join in the conversation. Now, I'm going to be having a few giveaways in the coming weeks, with the first one being next week. So be sure to tune in for your chance to win. Thank you again for allowing me on your screens. It's something I will never take for granted. Remember guys, this is the greatest hobby in the world. Share it with your family and share it with your friends, and let's be proud of what we do. Until next time, I'll see you soon.
I'm Ron Burgundy.